Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's council meeting. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for a moment of silence and salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the Union County Hawk, advertised on December 2nd, 2021. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger and is posted on the municipal website, the municipal public bulletin board, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk, informing the public of the time and place according to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231, PL 1975. Good evening again. Roll call, please, Ms. Cameron.
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Tedisco,
Here.
Councilman Graham,
Here.
Councilwoman Hers,
Here.
Councilman Carney,
Here.
Councilman Lazaro,
Here.
Councilwoman Salmon,
Here.
Council President Blumenstock.
Here,
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. At this time, could you please call the roll of our staff and professionals here tonight?
Kyle Harris, Borough Administrator,
Here.
Adam Abramson, Borough Attorney,
Here.
James Wright, Chief of Police,
Here.
John Scalzadona, Fire Chief.
Open it up with our Borough Attorney's report. Mr. Abramson? Okay. Does anyone on the council have any questions for Mr. Abramson tonight? No? Okay. Turning it over to Mr. Harris, our Borough Administrator.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Borough Hall will be closed tomorrow and Monday for the Christmas holiday, and Borough Hall will also be closed next Friday and Monday for the New Year's holiday. Reminder to all residents, the borough is contracted for recycling. We changing to Grand Sanitation in 2023. Recycling schedules have not changed. Please be patient as the new contractor takes over. As the time of day your recycling is picked up might be earlier than later than previously. And the 2023 garbage and recycling schedule is in the mail. Residents should be receiving it in the next few days. Additionally, the schedule is available on the borough website at garwood.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. Does anyone on the council have any questions for Mr. Harris tonight? Okay, very good. All right, so here goes my mayor's report for this evening. I'd like to start by welcoming Councilwoman Rachel Hers to the council. I've had the honor of working with Councilwoman Hers on the Education Foundation of Garwood for the past several years now, and I appreciate that she always, since day one, has brought new ideas to our group and a willingness to work hard to get the job done, whatever that job may be. And while we may only have one meeting together like this, I just wish you all the best in 2023. So congratulations. This past Monday night was the 5th annual menorah lighting. I was happy to attend that event to help celebrate the Festival of Lights here in Garwood. I want to thank the volunteers on the Garwood Celebrations Committee for again putting on another fun event. It was very cold that night, but our hearts were warm. We were having a great time with the light show and donuts and all that good stuff. I would also like to give thanks to our volunteers on the Garwood Fire Department for escorting Santa through every street in Garwood 2 weekends ago. And this is obviously a beloved longtime tradition here in Garwood, and I'm so glad to see it continues. I know that's a very long day for our fire department, but the children in our town just look forward to it so much every year. So thank you, Chief Scalzadona, and the men and women on the fire department. This past Sunday, I had a exit interview, as I like to call it, with the Garwood Historical Committee. And I want to thank volunteers Bruce Patterson and Kim Ficara for having me here at Borough Hall answer a bunch of questions. And at first, Mr. Patterson said the interview might take about 45 minutes. I said, I bet between the two of us, it's going to go a little bit longer than that. But it was about an hour long. It was really enjoyable to reflect back on my years on the council and as mayor and to answer the questions that were compiled by the historical committee. So I believe that video is going to be kept in the Garwood Library for those to see in the future. I wouldn't bet that hundreds are going to go storming the library to watch it, but I think it's good that we have that on record. And I just want to commend the historical committee for all that they do to keep our history in town alive. As you can see from a couple of resolutions on tonight's consent agenda, we do have 2 police officers who are leaving us. So I just want to express best wishes to both of them. That's Officer Ian Rivera and Officer Ed Moronsky. I want to thank them for their service again and just wish them all the best as they endeavor into a different department. So with that, as you can see on the consent agenda as well, we have new police officers that we are ready to welcome here in Garwood. So one, he's here, Mr. Brian Contreras. He is coming to us from Fairleigh Dickinson University, where he has been employed as a campus security officer since February of 2022. Prior to that, he served as a police officer with the City of Irvington Police Department, where he began his career in September of 2020. Officer Contreras comes from a family background in law enforcement, as his father proudly served on the Irvington Police Department for 25 years. So, Brian, we have the vote later on, but I just want to express all the best to you, and, we'll be rooting for you. Tonight's my last meeting, but I'll always be rooting for Garwood and the police department and all of that. So I wish you all the best, and thank you for joining us here. Yeah, thanks, everybody. Another resolution we have for hire tonight is for Jada Show. I can't believe I botched this. I practiced it a few times, Jada. I apologize. People botch Tedisco all the time, so I can empathize at least. But anyway, Jada Shukai. How'd I do? Okay, thank you. She's been a dispatcher here for us in Garwood since June of this year, and she currently resides in Cranford. Prior to her service with us, she was a dispatcher with the Carteret Police Department, where she began her career in April of 2021. Dispatcher Shukai is a graduate of Middlesex Community College, where she received her associate's degree in criminal justice and police science. Dispatcher Shukai also comes to us with a family background in law enforcement, as her father is a retired sheriff's detective from the Passaic County Sheriff's Office. Dispatcher Shukai is not yet a certified police officer and will be the first officer to attend the John H. Stanler Police Academy with a Garwood Police Department patch, since Officer Mario Morelli did so back in 1990. I'm proud to say I was 2 years old back then, but that's a long time that we have actually not sent anyone to the academy. So this is historic here in Garwood. So Jada, I'm looking forward to you representing us well at the academy and for many years to come in the Garwood Police Department. Jada will be our first female police officer, which deserves another round of applause. Yes, we're making history here in Garwood, and as the third female mayor, of course, people have heard me talk about some things female centric sometimes, and that's because it is important that we have a seat at all tables. And so I feel it extra important that we do have a female police officer here in Garwood, and I don't think there's anybody better than Jada to do that. She's already displayed such professionalism as a dispatcher here in town and strong work ethic. So looking forward to watching both of you, Brian and Jada, as you endeavor in careers here on our police department. So thank you. All right, last but not least, I do have a planning board report for tonight. So the planning board held its last meeting of the year on December 14th. The majority of the meeting was spent discussing short-term rentals. The board unanimously supported recommending the adoption of the ordinance on tonight's agenda to prohibit short-term rentals, meaning any rental of a residential property for less than 28 consecutive days. And that also will go along with the prohibition of rental of swimming pools in Garwood. This essentially codifies what has already been true, being that it has not been listed as a permitted use. And when it comes to land use, anything that's not listed as permitted is prohibited. So if passed tonight, the ordinance on the agenda will make such prohibition clear. The planning board intends on presenting an ordinance outlining possible regulations if the majority of the membership of the 2023 planning board wishes to recommend it to the council. And if it does, it's obviously going to be the 2023 council that will make a decision whether to continue with prohibition or to change course and put regulations in place instead. I know this issue has been around since August when I first brought it up, and whether for it or against it, I do appreciate everyone's time in getting us to where we are tonight and sharing their opinions, their ideas on this topic. Effective December 14th, Planning Board member Steve Napolitano resigned his position, and I want to thank Steve for his service to the board as a full member the past 4 years and for the years before that as an alternate. I also want to recognize and thank Planning Board member Mike Vina for serving over 20 years on the Planning Board. He has recently made it known that he does not wish to seek reappointment next year. And over 20 years of volunteerism through applications large and small is no small feat, and Mike deserves to be commended for his contribution to Garwood. The members of the board had kind words to say about me, as it was my last meeting since being appointed to the planning board back in 2018 by then Mayor Charles Lombardo. And I truly appreciate what they had to say. But most importantly, I do appreciate their service. Our board has a great diversity of life experience and of years of service to the board, as well as different political backgrounds. And it has been my absolute honor to appoint every single one of those members to the board over the past 4 years as mayor. So I see some planning board members in attendance tonight, our chair, Steve Greet, our vice chair, Kathy Bellagio. And I just want to echo what I said again back on December 14th. That, your service is really greatly appreciated. And Rich McCormick, planning board member as well. Thank you. We have late meetings on that planning board. But it's all for good cause, and Paul Tarantino as well. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Slid over so I can see him. All right. Thank you. I have Adele in my speech later too, but our planning board secretary, Adele Lewis, is here too. But yeah, like I said, you're in my speech later too, Adele. Another one of my Girl Scout moms growing up here in Garwood. So a lot of fond memories. Okay, with that, I will turn it over to comments from the council, beginning with Councilman Graham.
Thank you, Mayor. Oh, okay. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, all the others to everyone else. I also want to wish everyone a Happy New Year as well. It's my last opportunity to do so. I also want, before the new year, I also want to remind everyone that these are the darkest days of the year and to please be extra cautious when driving around town and in general. Families and especially children will be moving about at night, and the little ones may forget to look both ways in their excitement to see other loved ones. Please be extra careful if you plan to travel near or far, and I wish everyone the best. So, I don't think the night would be complete without a grumpy old man tale. So I'm going to go into that a little bit. I was just thinking of that as you were speaking. You reminded me of the Santa Claus driving around town, and it's always wonderful. And it seems like every year we're on Liberty Court, a cul-de-sac off a dead end, and here come the fire trucks, and here comes Santa. We always go out on the porch. We don't have children, but it's great to wave at Santa and watch the kids' faces light up when they see him. Well, this year, my wife and I were out, and we came home. It was about 1 o'clock. And 4th Avenue was closed off, and there were all these fire trucks. And I forgot about Santa. And I'm like, oh, there might be a fire on 4th. But then I realized, oh, wait a minute. There's too many fire trucks. So it's got to be Santa. So I drove around, I went 3rd, and I came back up Walnut, and they blocked off my street, Union. So I couldn't go down there. So I turned right, and I parked in front of the Greets house. And I figured I'll just sit here patiently and wait for Santa Claus to come out of Liberty Court and Union. And Julie couldn't wait. She got out of the car and walked home so she could see Santa. But I was happy and content to just sit there, figured 10 minutes. How long could it take? And sure enough, here come the trucks, the unblocked Union. Here comes Santa Claus, turns left and parks right in front of the Greets house. I got out. So I'm here tonight, but no. So
You
that
must
was
be on the naughty list.
that was kind
Councilman
of
Graham.
funny. Oh yeah, right. That big old ladder truck right in front of me. But no, it's always fun, and it was great to see. And I thought I'd relate that little tale, get a smile on everybody's face. Thank you, Mayor.
Very nice. Thank you, Councilman Graham. Councilwoman Hers.
I just want to say that I feel honored to be sitting up here amongst all of you. I look forward to serving the borough to the best of my ability and wish happy holidays to everyone.
Great. Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Carney.
Thank you, Mayor. Just Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year to all for the last time in 2022.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman Carney. Councilman Lazaro.
Yeah, just wanted to say happy holidays, happy new year. I really enjoyed the menorah lighting that happened on this past Monday. A great event, along with the Christmas tree. That was all fantastic. The celebrations committee did. So thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Salmon.
Thank you, Mayor. So again, just happy holidays to everybody. And I just want to welcome Councilwoman Hers. I'm very excited for 2023.
Very nice. Thank you. Council President Blumenstock.
Welcome once again, Councilwoman Hers, and just congratulations to our new officers. I'm beyond excited to look forward to swearing you in next year. I too think it's going to be a great year. So I'm looking forward to it, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Council President. Okay, it's time for the minutes. Ms. Cameron, could you please read those for us?
Yes, minutes of the regular meeting of mayor and council held on December 8th, 2022. Minutes of the executive session meeting of mayor and council held on December 8th, 2022.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Ms. Cameron, could you please read the communications for us tonight?
Yes, Mayor, New Jersey State League of Municipalities.
Received and filed. Okay, as you can see, we have several ordinances on tonight's agenda for adoption. Ms. Cameron, could you please read ordinance 22-17 by title only?
Yes, an ordinance to amend chapter 106 land use, article 8 zoning regulations, new section 124.1 short-term rentals in the code of the Borough of Garwood.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Have we received any correspondence on this ordinance?
We have not, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to open it up now for the public. If there is anyone present that wishes to be heard concerning ordinance 22-17. Anyone in person or online? Okay, seeing none, could I have a motion to close the public hearing on this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Is everything okay with the Zoom still? I just want to check.
Chapter 34 entitled Police Department, Article 1, Establishment, Organization, and Administration.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Have we received any correspondence on this ordinance?
We have not, Mayor.
Okay, I'd like to open it up to the public now to see if there's anyone who wishes to be heard concerning ordinance 22 No, okay. Could I have a motion to close the public hearing on this ordinance?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Could I have a motion to adopt ordinance 22-20?
so moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion from the council? No. Okay, roll call, please, Ms. Cameron.
Councilman Graham,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hers,
Aye.
Councilman Carney,
Aye.
Councilman Lazaro,
Aye.
Councilwoman Salmon,
Aye.
Council President Blumenstock.
Aye,
Great. Ms. Cameron, could you please read ordinance 22-21 by title only?
Yes, an ordinance amending the Borough Code of the Borough of Garwood by amending Chapter 4 entitled Police Department, Article 5, Private Employment of Police Officers.
Have we received any correspondence?
We have not.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience tonight who wishes to address the mayor and council on ordinance 22-21? Seeing none, could I have a motion to close the public hearing on this ordinance?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Could I have a motion to adopt ordinance 22-21?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion from the council?
I'd like to recuse myself from the vote.
Okay, recusal is noted. Councilwoman, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please, Ms. Cameron.
Councilman Graham. Councilman Carney,
Aye.
Councilman Lazaro,
Aye.
Councilwoman Salmon,
Aye.
Council President Blumenstock.
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Cameron, could you please read ordinance 22-22 by title only?
Yes, an ordinance to establish a restricted parking zone pursuant to NJSA 39-4-197.6 in front of 405 Willow Avenue in the Borough of Garwood.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Have we received any correspondence?
We have not, Mayor.
Okay, I'd now like to open it to the public. If there is anyone that's present tonight that wishes to be heard on this ordinance. Seeing none, could I have a motion to close public hearing on this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Could I have a motion to adopt ordinance 22-22?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion from the council? Roll call, please, Ms. Cameron.
Councilman Graham.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst,
Aye.
Councilman Carney,
Aye.
Councilman Lazaro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Salmon,
Aye.
Council President Blumenstock.
Aye.
Okay. Ms. Cameron, could you please read our final ordinance tonight, 22-23 by title only?
Yes, an ordinance amending the Borough Code of the Borough of Garwood by amending Chapter 5 entitled Administration, Article 5, Borough Tax Collector, Borough Chief Financial Officer, Borough Treasurer, and Article 8A, Other Offices and Positions.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Have we received any correspondence concerning this ordinance?
We have not, Mayor.
Okay. Does anyone present tonight wish to be heard concerning ordinance 22-23? Seeing none, could I have a motion to close the public hearing on this ordinance?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, a motion to adopt ordinance 22-23.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Cameron.
Councilman Graham.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hurst,
Aye.
Councilman Carney,
Aye.
Councilman Lazaro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Salmon,
Aye.
Council President Blumenstock.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone. Many ordinances just adopted. And if anyone's sitting there wondering, where was all the discussion? Trust me, it was at introduction and meetings prior to that, some of them for months. So we'll move along to council standing committee reports and other reports, starting with finance and personnel. Councilman Lazaro.
No report.
Okay, thank you. Fire and OEM, Councilman Carney.
Thank you, Mayor. The Garwood Fire Department held their final regular meeting for 2022 on Wednesday, December 7th. Elections were held with the chief and all current officers being re-elected. I'd like to echo you and offer a thank you to all the members who assisted with the annual Santa ride and spreading joy all around the town. Additionally, I'm happy to report that 2 recruits passed their final examinations at the Union County Fire Academy this Saturday. So congratulations to firefighter Jerome Palmer and firefighter Theodore Trojan on completing your training, and stay safe, gentlemen. And for my final report this year as fire commissioner, I want to go on record with a thank you to Chief Scalzadonna, who's over there in the corner, the officers and the firefighters of the Garwood Fire Department for the warm welcome into their meetings, and more importantly, the warm welcome into their firehouse this year. It's been an honor to serve in this role, as well as an awesome learning experience to see the day-to-day operations of our fire department up close and personal, at least as long as it's not raining. And that's all for my report.
Great, thank you, Councilman Carney. Facilities, grounds, and shade trees. Mr. Harris, do you have anything to report on that, or Councilwoman Hers?
Last week,
Okay.
through the Union County tree planting contract, Garwood planted 12 trees. These trees were planted at various locations throughout the town streets, as well as the Garwood Sports Complex. Funding for the tree planting came from the borough's matching grant through the Greenery Union County. And the borough exterior repair projects are continuing. All of the new doors have been installed and painted, and the last portion of the project should be completed shortly when the new window panels are available.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilwoman Hers. Streets, ecology, and sustainability, Council President Blumenstock.
No report, Mayor. I just wanted to, well, first thank the DPW for all the work that they do every year with all of our holiday decorations and helping at all of our holiday events. It's very much appreciated. But I also just wanted to say a thank you to our superintendent, Clint Dixon, our foreman, Lenny Navarro, and all of our laborers that work day in and day out. I've been commissioner of at Streets and Roads for 6 years now, and learned a heck of a lot about things I never knew before. And so, but I appreciate them teaching me and showing me the ropes of everything. And it's been a great 6 years doing that job. So I just want to thank them.
Very nice, Council President. And I know you and I have both talked about this. Who would think girls would like trucks so much, right?
I love going and seeing all those trucks. and
Right? I
learning about
know.
and
You never thought you would, but
no,
it's
no,
actually a
the
lot of
things I know about now, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, but
Very-
it's been a good 6 years with
Yeah,
it. So thank-
definitely impressive. Police and Public Safety, Councilman Graham.
Thank you, Mayor. Since the last meeting of Mayor and Council on December 8th, the Garwood Police Department has recorded the following activity: initiated 27 motor vehicle stops, conducted 61 building/property checks, assigned to 8 fixed traffic posts consisting of radar, stop sign, and distracted driving, responded to 11 calls from medical assist, responded to 6 business/residential alarms, responded to 17 false 911 fire or carbon monoxide alarms, conducted 2 welfare checks, assisted 4 disabled vehicles, and initiated 8 community policing posts. That's my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Great. Thank you, Councilman Graham. Community Engagement, Recreation, Historical, and Celebrations Committees, Councilwoman Salmon.
Thank you, Mayor. No official report tonight. I just wanted to give a special thank you to the Celebrations Committee for all they do during the holiday season. They really make it special here in Garwood. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Councilwoman. Communications Committee, Councilman Carney.
As a Christmas present to Mr. Harris, no report.
All right. Very nice. Library Mayor's Representative, Councilman
It's a
Lazar.
holiday miracle, no report.
Whoa. I wouldn't have bet money on that. Back to back, no reports. School Board Liaison, Councilman Carney.
I had to no report somewhere else because I have a couple things for this one. So the Garwood Board of Education met on Tuesday, December 13th for their final regular meeting of 2022. The meeting began with a presentation from Mrs. Emmons to students for the Honor Society. There was a lot of commentary during their subcommittee reports regarding various issues recruiting and retaining substitute teachers, which was reported to be a growing problem all across New Jersey. And I definitely have read about it in the paper a couple times. The board later took action on their agenda to raise the substitute rate to $120 per day for the remainder of the 2022-2023 school year in an effort to assist with this issue. The new superintendent of schools and director of special services, Mr. Kinney, who will officially begin his new position on January 2nd, was appointed by the board to a non-compensated educational consultant position beginning on December 15th to assist with the transition process. In other board actions, they accepted our final pilot payment from the borough. The board also regrettably accepted the resignation of school business administrator Marcy Krasny, which will be effective on February 13th of next year. The board also acknowledged that ALJ's Teacher of the Year is none other than Garwood's own Anthony Del Conte. So doing Garwood proud and congratulations to him. And finally, with this being the final meeting for 3 members of the board, I'd like to thank the 3 departing trustees, Vincent Bastiano, Tim Ryan, and Adrian Savard for their dedicated service over the last 3 years and wish them all the best going forward. And that's all for my report.
Thank you, Councilman Carney. I just want to piggyback on that and echo your sentiments there to all. In particular, I do want to wish Mrs. Emmons all the best going back to the role of principal only, as she has been acting superintendent. I think she's to be commended for the job that she's done. I've had the honor of meeting Mr. Kinney, and he attended the menorah lighting this past Monday night as well. It was nice to see him at a community event like that. And so I'd like to, welcome him to the Garwood family and wish him all the best in the role of superintendent. And also Marcy Krasny, their business administrator, was very, very good. And She was really a pleasure to work with when we had our joint committee meetings. I know you know about those. Mr. Harris knows about those. Very knowledgeable, very quick to respond. And it was a pleasure working with her. So I wish her the best in her new chapter. And then I'm happy to brag that Anthony Del Conte was in my class here in Garwood. And so congratulations, Anthony, on being Teacher of the Year. That's really wonderful, making Garwood very proud as always. So we'll move along to Garwood Senior Citizen Liaison, Council President Blumenstock.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of notes. Classic movies at the library are January 6th and January 20th at 12 p.m. Come enjoy some coffee, tea, and light snacks while watching a feel-good movie. And senior club meetings begin again in January with our first one on January 5th at 12 p.m. at the Knights of Columbus. And that's all for me, Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. Small Business Advisory Liaison, Councilman Carney.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Board of Health Liaison, Councilman Graham.
Thank you, Mayor. The Garwood Board of Health meeting was held last night. Agents' activity reports were given. It was reported that this has been the worst flu season since records have been kept. I know we all are aware that, there's a lot of illness going around and, it's suspected that we've all been living in a bubble for the past 2 years. So our immune systems are somewhat have taken a vacation. So everybody, please be careful. Obviously it'd be worthwhile if you're going to be in a group setting to maybe start wearing the mask again. But, the idea is to take care of yourselves and watch out for your loved ones. The 2023 budget was discussed and agreed upon. There was discussion concerning amending the Board of Health licensing fees to include an annual temporary permit. This is a permit issued to someone selling food products at multiple events held in Garwood throughout the year. All agreed to amend the fee ordinance. The Health Department continues to provide vaccinations. Residents can also book appointments online by visiting westfieldnj.gov/vaccine-appointments or by calling 908-789-4070. Walk-in flu vaccines continue to be offered as well. That's all for my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Graham. Planning Board Liaison, Councilwoman Salmon. I think I stole your
Yep,
show
that's
just
okay.
one final time this year,
That's
Thank you. All right, officers' reports. Ms. Cameron, could you please read those for us?
Yes, Chief of Police monthly reports for October and November 2022.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Could I have a motion to accept the officers' reports?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, now it's time for public comment. So is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? If so, please step up to the microphone and state your full name and address, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes. Yes. Ms. Tarantino.
Hi, Ann Tarantino, 450 South Avenue, Garwood. So Mayor, your last meeting. When we first met, you were in your early 20s, and I remember thinking how impressed I was with you. Such a young woman and so knowledgeable about how municipal government works. And in the last 13 years or so that you have served Garwood, you have given so much of your personal time, endless hours, and most of all, endless meetings. We all know that. You have made personal connections with so many of our residents. People say that their door is always open, and this has never been more true than when it comes to you. You give everyone your personal contact information, and you are always accessible. If someone couldn't come to you, you went to them. This was especially true when it came to our seniors. Garwood is a better town for having had you as mayor, even if just for one term. And I am honored to call you my friend. On behalf of the Garwood Democratic Committee, I thank you for all the good you have done for Garwood. We wish you luck in your future endeavors, especially this next one that's showing up in April. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you. Thanks, Ann. Hi, Mr. Pritchard.
Yeah, good evening. John E. Pritchard, 41047 of Garwood. 3 days from now will be Christmas Day. And I'm thinking of our soldiers, sailors, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, Airmen who won't be home this Christmas because of duty commitments. They're out there defending our country. They're out there defending our freedom. We failed to do the job we was supposed to do by backing up our men during the war in Vietnam. We lost 3 men from Garwood during that war. They loved us so. Every day in 100 ways they told us so. In honesty, in affection, they told us so. They loved us so. Every day in 100 ways they showed us so. With loyalty and bravery, they showed us so. They were our defenders, and they kept us free. They took an oath to guard us and fought for liberty. They loved us so. And we should know, for we love them so. Next, I want to say that we must back our police officers and firefighters and rescue squad members because they're out there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know the fire department and the rescue squad are both volunteer outfits, but they're out there helping us. Police officers, firefighters, and rescue squad members, they're out there helping us to keep safe. And they're the ones for the I'll be there, never you fear kind of people that you can count on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We must back them up in every way. And let me say this, abolishing police and fire departments and rescue squads should not be the answer and should never be the answer. Mark well what I just say, should never be the answer. We must back them up in every way. And third, we must pressure the state legislature to reopen some closed hospitals such as Muhlenberg and Plainfield. What if another 9/11 attack occurs? We'll need those hospitals very, very badly. And we need them very badly. The sooner we activate Muhlenberg and other hospitals, the better off we all will be. Don't let myself clear. Oh, and happy holidays to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pritchard. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? No. Hi, Mr. Jardine. Hi, good to see you.
Tom Jardim, I hope
Oh.
you'll indulge me in speaking. I know I'm not.
I think you
yeah.
dropped something.
Uh,
Out of towners can speak here
Okay.
too. You know that. And you're our neighbor anyway, so.
Right. I do bring you greetings from across the border in Westfield, from all of your friends from the town of Westfield, the mayor, the council, and all of the folks that you know so well in Westfield. And I just wanted to congratulate you on behalf of all of your friends in Westfield for this being your last meeting.
Thank you.
I was going to say it's not lost on anybody in Westfield, and I'm sure of it, anybody in this town, how hard you've worked at this job, how much you care for the people of this town and the town itself. And how much you've committed and are committed to the people of this town and the residents. It's very much appreciated. I like to think that all of us who have ever been involved in municipal government, every single one of us, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, do it for the right reasons. I know that you have done it for the right reason for this town, and I know everybody on this council does as well. So it's much appreciated. I do want to say too that I know what it's like to be in your shoes. I served as a mayor back when of Westfield, back when Mayor Crincoli was the mayor of Garwood. He was of course a very special man and a very special mayor. I undoubtedly put you in the same category as Mayor Crincoli. You will go through history as a giant of this town and as a great mayor in this town. I think you've done a really wonderful job for this town. The other thing that I know about is that when you stop being mayor, it's a little bit like cold water in the face. You're not going to know how to stop. You're still going to be worrying about what's on the agenda for a Thursday night. You're still going to be worrying about whether the budget's going to come in low enough for the low tax increase. You're still going to be caring about the people of town. But then at some point you'll say, hey, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm in good hands with the rest of the people who are elected to serve the town of the borough of Garwood. So I just want to congratulate you again. For myself, you've been a good friend and you've been a good friend to the town of Westfield. And I think you've done a phenomenal job as mayor. So congratulations on a well-earned retirement.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. The town of Westfield has a brief mention in my speech later too. Maybe not in a way you'd expect, but honestly, in a good way, still a good way, not a bad way. But you know, Garwood Westfield rivalries, of course, that happens with neighbors, right? But we really have formed such a great alliance here for tackling those regional issues, flooding, transit, traffic. And I know that Council President will do a great job as mayor, continuing that line of communication. And so it's been good to be a friend to Westfield and to have Westfield be a friend to us and work together. So I appreciate you coming on their behalf. Thank you.
Hi, Stephanie Bianco, 544th Avenue. Mayor Tedisco, I want to thank you for all the hard work from when you started as a councilwoman, and you've done wonderful things for this town. I'm very proud to have worked under you, and thank you for all the, the appointments to the planning board. I wish you well in your future endeavors. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. I'm going to break my rules and just speak after public comment, if that's okay. Like not at the end of public comment, the end, just following up, if that's okay. Stephanie, I think our story of friendship's an interesting one and maybe a good lesson for people to take. It's not often that you are on a ballot against someone, whether direct position battling it out or just on a ticket versus someone. And former Councilman Rich McCormick and I have been on the same situation, different sides of the fence on ballots. And now both of you are very dear friends of mine. I think it's a good lesson. So I remember when you first got to council, I really meant what I said, and you took me up on that at my word. And that meant a lot that, I was here for you if you had questions and things like that. And I remember maybe just after the election or right around the election, going to your house and you said, we should like hang out sometime. And I thought, oh boy, like we're literally running against each other. She wants to hang out. I'm a little suspect of this, to be perfectly honest. But she was totally genuine. I was in the wrong. I was a little suspect, but she was totally genuine. And very shortly after the election, we did hang out and we had a great time. And we realized that we have a lot in common. And even though we may have some different views on things, we're still people maybe cut from the same cloth with a great love of the town. And it's been an honor to appoint you to the planning board. And so, thank you for the kind words. And I'm glad that we went from maybe rivals to friends. And Councilman McCormick, same goes for you as well. Who would have thought duking it out in on the ballot in the election, having it be close, having our running mates unsuccessful hurt us a little bit, but you put that aside, and when you give people a chance, you can learn a lot from another person and form friendships. I never got into this to form friendships, but man, I've made some really great ones. So thank you, everybody that I call a friend. So thank you, Ms. Bianca. All right. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council tonight? All right. Up. Oh, the first man's coming up. Uh-oh. Do I have to get the tissue box now?
Yeah, well, you already had it last night before. So.
Yeah.
Obviously, we.
Yes, you should state your name and address.
91
Mr.
Third
Carper.
Ave, Jeremy Carper. But no, I just wanted to I wanted public comment to kind of say as much as they, like kind of just do what they do. And I wanted to kind of be the last kind of thing. I know it's bittersweet for her. Like we all know that this is tough for her.
Mm.
This is all her life. She's been in her 12 years. And this is probably, it could be harder for me than it is for her. And this is tough, you know. Yeah, it is. She loves this town more than anybody, I'll tell you right now. And it's generational. And you can see it in her eyes, you know, and she cared for this town. She does care for this town. She always will. There'll be years down the road, she's going to call this town, you know, and you're like, what's going on? What's going on? You know, but yeah, I've never seen anybody love a town so much than her. Yeah, I really haven't. Like, and it was tough. It was a bittersweet thing for both of us. And it was really about like starting a family. And we both kind of was like, yeah, let's start a family. You know, Garwood pays $1.
That's good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The Garwood pays $1, but my job luckily pays some decent bucks. And her job also does pay some money too. And maternity leave. I don't know about Garwood. So it was one of the hardest things for me coming into this town and knowing like her like infatuation for this town, knowing that she really loved this town. Like I could feel it, like not just from her, from everybody. Everybody loved this town.
Mhm.
Like everyone that sat here every year, I could just, it was different for me. Like I've never felt it before. And I could feel like, this is serious. Like this is nothing to mess around with. And when she sat down there and, you know, we had to talk about like, do we want to do this or do we want to start a family?
Mhm.
You know, and it was kind of like both, you know, we were struggling between both. And ultimate decision was obvious. She's pregnant. Baby girl, April 29th.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't leave anything away from this town because she will always have this town in her heart for sure, no matter what. And our kids and our kids' kids, grandkids. And I really never felt like anything like a part of a town than I ever did before. And it's really because of her bringing this kind of affection, you know, whatnot. But I guess I really want to say like the best mayor I've ever seen is her.
Thank you. Great answer, honey. Thank you.
But no, I'll decide like I put in the work, the detail, like phone calls, like everything, this and you know, everything all the time. Like you're constantly on the phone. If you're not, you're on an email. You know, you're
Don't
like,
give too much behind the scenes, honey.
Oh, yeah, you know, but I don't know.
Right. Rules out the window tonight.
No, but all
Right.
jokes aside, like she has, I don't know. I can't even like explain it, but she has the most passion for Garwood. And yeah, she really does. And she always has been. And I think she was a great mayor and she always will be. Maybe, well, in the future too. But.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. All right, spoken from the first gentleman of Garwood. Thank you. Of course, you're in my speech later too. But you know, some people just if we're you know, telling some jokes here, some people would say I married Garwood before I married Jeremy. So it may be true, but in some regards it's at a time. But honestly, the decision to start a family was an easy one for us. It's something we both have wanted for a long time. And it's we couldn't really ask for better timing than all of this. So you know, thank you. I love you. Oh boy, oh boy. This is starting to turn into, they say Garwood is like a Lifetime movie. It's getting a little too true, everybody. A little too true. All right. Is there anyone else that wishes to address the mayor and council tonight? Only one time per person.
Who could follow that?
Yes. All right. Is there anyone online? No? All right. Very good. Thank you. So I appreciate that, everybody, really. And I appreciate seeing some very friendly faces here in the audience tonight that may not make it to every council meeting, but I know you all pay attention, and the fact that you're here tonight really is special. So thank you. Could I have a motion to close the public comment portion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, my hesitation there, I should just be transparent about it, is I know that my mom joined from Florida on the Zoom and she wanted to say something, but she probably didn't know to raise her hand. And I'm not sure if, Jeremy, if you've received any text messages or anything. So she called in? Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, maybe. Let's just check the phone. I can ask you to reopen public comment if, for the first mom. Yes? Okay. Can I have a motion to reopen public comment?
So moved.
A second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. I know she wanted to say something, so. Okay, go ahead. Now we need the tissue box just in case. Thanks.
Jacqueline, is she on the phone? Or she's, okay.
Oh, okay. Mom, if you can hear this, you can unmute yourself. She's retired. She doesn't have to deal with Zoom meetings like most of us in this room. All right. Thanks, Chief.
So I wasn't gonna talk, but it's a good opportunity, right? We'll give you some time.
Appreciate
Mayor,
it.
I just remember you were my police commissioner for 1 month, I think, and we had a
Right.
great meeting. And I loved the meeting when you were like, I'm not gonna ever allow my politics interfere with your office. And I feel even when you became mayor, that's the way our relationship was, and I really did appreciate it. It wasn't always there were times where you would come to me and I would say, absolutely not, we're not gonna do it that way. We can't do it that way.
Mhm,
Oftentimes you would win and we would do it that way anyway.
mhm. Street of the
that's-
week.
Because that's the strong-willed type of leadership that you brought, and I did appreciate that. We did have those really, really rough years with COVID,
Mhm.
and navigating that with you was very much appreciated. That we had that relationship that you can
Mhm.
call me, I could call you, and navigate things that nobody ever imagined we'd have to deal with. And I really do appreciate that. So thank you very much. Are we good?
Thank you, Chief.
Are we good? Oh, geez, I got to keep talking now. I'm up on the mic, so I got to keep.
Oh.
You know?
Thank you,
But I
Chief.
do wish you the best, and I really do think that this is a great time of your life. You're gonna love being a mom. I really do think that you're gonna have so much fun. So
Right.
good luck with the
Yes.
rest of your future, and
Thank
come
you.
back when you're ready.
Thank you, Chief. That's right. Oh, sure.
Since you've reopened public comment, Adele Lewis, 605 Myrtle Ave, while we're waiting for
Mhm.
your mom.
Thanks.
Sarah, hopefully, I'm close second to your mom. I've
Mhm.
known Sarah since she's 5 years old, her Girl Scout leader, and just want to publicly thank you for everything that you've done for Garwood. No one's really put more blood, sweat, and tears into the town than you have. And, really just enjoy watching you grow into this position, into the young woman that you are, and now a mom. And just want to wish you all the best, and all the best for the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Adele. Appreciate that. Any verdict? Okay, no. You don't have to come up again. Well, you might want to troubleshoot with her, though.
All right.
mean-
Yeah, we have actually troubleshooted her. We don't know anything that's going on. She's gonna sign out and sign back in. But anyway,
Okay.
is there anything that we want from the mayor to switch it around that you
Well,
maybe?
That's what I'm used to,
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
the questions up here and the,
Uh-huh.
feedback. So, but, you know what we can, I don't know I don't even know what to do. Just open it later. Okay, let's do that.
All right.
So everybody doesn't feel like they have to keep coming up here dancing and
All right.
I'm fishing for compliments or something.
Well, we were still
Like,
waiting for your mom.
No,
to-
we're gonna reopen it. So
Okay,
it's okay.
all right.
All right,
Yeah.
so I'll
Thank you.
move to close public comment.
Thank you.
For now.
Oh,
It's working? Might have something.
Mayor, I was going to ask if we could start tagging in audience members to
right.
talk, but
Tag team Rich here. and-
yeah, she was ready to drive up the 20 hours from Florida to here.
Hey, Rich McCormick, 101 4th Avenue, Garwood, past councilman. I gave a nice speech before at the last meeting for Sarah. She wasn't present, but that's okay. But here I am again.
I did watch it. Thank
Here I
you.
am again saying, this guy, he's nice. To speak of you like that, that's nice. Putting Garwood first and foremost, that's great. But as a longtime resident and then running against you and Councilman Graham and having to win and then having to serve alongside you and then having to disagree with everything that you did for my first 4 months in council,
Right.
because that's what we're supposed to do.
Mm.
I came to the conclusion that nobody has a better heart
Yeah,
than Sarah.
I think I'm unmuted.
Councilwoman and now mayor. So Sarah, once again, congratulations. I'll hand it over to mom. We're good.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Rich.
I don't know,
Thank
can
you.
they see me?
Here is Mama Tedisco.
All right.
Hi,
Mom, you can state your name and address for the record.
okay, my name is Therese Tedisco and my address is 268 Burt Pine Drive, Naples, Florida.
All right. I might be one of-
Formerly of 91 Third Avenue.
That's right.
Right. So, Sarah, I just am so filled with pride and amazement for all of your accomplishments. I could not be more proud of you and everything, how you've handled everything. You thought about it, you didn't react. Sometimes I get like crazy, want to react initially, but you take the time and you really feel what is best for this situation. Maybe not my thought sometimes, but you have really shown me how mature you were or are. And honestly, I just am amazed with your success, and I am proud to be your mother. And I don't know how I got lucky in the mom department, but I sure did. And as your baby will be lucky in the mom department and in the parent department. So you have sacrificed so much for this town. A lot of times I felt that it was a lot and maybe gone unnoticed or unappreciated, but you did what you wanted to do because of your love for that town that is just undying. And I know your grandfather and grandmother are watching from above. Just there's no words. So with that, I appreciate all of the help that you've gotten along the way and the guidance and everybody who helped you become who you are today. So with that, I say I love you very, very much. And Jeremy, I love you very much. And I can't wait to see you in a few days. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Well, you heard it from the first mother of Garwood. Thank you, Mom. I love you too.
Okay.
Yeah. man, it's gonna be hard for me to get through my speech later, I think, but thank you, Mom. I appreciate that. I know it was sometimes, hard maybe as the parent to watch some of the things that can happen in politics, right? But I did appreciate that my mom always had unconditional support and love, and that she actually didn't step in and come to council meetings and defend me or speak up. Like, I think that took a lot to be restrained like that, but I think it's really appreciated. It let me do this on my own. And yeah, I do appreciate that. Thanks, Mom. Love you.
You're welcome, Sarah.
Nice. All right. Now we can close public comment. So we can have that
I'll
motion again.
make that motion.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now we'll move along to the consent agenda. Whew, I can breathe when it's just regular business. It's comforting. Are there any resolutions a member of the council would like to have removed tonight? None? Okay. That's easy. Could I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Cameron?
Councilman Graham,
Aye.
Councilwoman Hers,
Aye.
Councilman Carney,
Aye.
Councilman Lazaro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Salmon,
Aye.
Council President Blumenstock.
Aye.
Thank you. And there are no other resolutions, right, Ms. Cameron?
There are not more.
Okay, thank you. All right, now it is time for new business. So I'll open it up for the council first.
Mayor, I actually believe Mr. Harris has something for you first.
Okay. Oh,
I have a resolution on behalf of Senator Bramnick that
very nice.
Mr. McCormick helped arrange.
That's great.
Whereas the Senate and General Assembly of the state of New Jersey are pleased to salute the Honorable Sarah Disco, highly esteemed in her Garden State community, and grateful recognition of her outstanding efforts as mayor of the Borough of Garwood, Union County. And whereas Mayor Sarah Disco is a proud fourth-generation resident of Garwood, and throughout her first term, she spearheaded a number of praiseworthy initiatives that have greatly enhanced the quality of life for her constituents, including a launch of the official municipal social media pages and First Citizens Advisory Panel, the Community Spirit Awards, quarterly breakfast with the mayor. And whereas she previously represented the people of Garwood as a member of the Borough Council, where she ably and effectively carried out her duties as president in 2013 and 2017, and as past chair of the Finance Committee. An illustrious graduate of Northeastern University, Sarah Disco enjoys a superb career as a social studies teacher, and she is further admired for her active support of the Garwood Lions Club, the Garwood Baseball League, the Education Foundation of Garwood, among other local organizations. And whereas the people of the state of New Jersey are genuinely indebted to hardworking citizens exemplified by Sarah Disco, who dedicated their time and utilize their unique talents in furtherance of the common good. And whereas in all spheres, Sarah Disco has demonstrated an exemplary measure of civic mindedness, and in doing, she has provided a model of faithful public service worthy of emulation. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate and State Assembly of the State of New Jersey, the legislature body hereby commends Sarah Disco, pays tribute to her sterling record of leadership and commitment, and extends sincere best wishes for her continued success in all future endeavors. And be further resolved that duly authenticated copy of this resolution signed by Senate President and Assembly Speaker and attested by the Senate Secretary and Assembly Clerk be transmitted to the Honorable Sarah Disco.
Oh, very nice. That's very nice of Senator Bramnick, and Rich, thank you for making sure this happened. That's very, very thoughtful. Appreciate it.
Oh, Mayor, so if you don't mind, I just wanted to say something just for a quick minute. We'll be quick. I wanted to talk about Sarah first as the mayor that all of you know her as. Obviously, she has accomplished a lot at a young age, and she did it all first and foremost, as we heard here, for Garwood. Her love of Garwood was apparent the minute I met her. And everything she has done as both councilwoman and mayor has been because of that love of her hometown. And the fact that I think we all keep hearing that really, really goes to show that we all feel that. And yes, as councilwoman, as mayor, she got roads paved, she kept our budgets low, she did redevelopment negotiations, but I think what she did best, especially as mayor, was bring people together. She truly listened to all sides and went out of her way to make sure everyone felt heard. She was a true mentor to me. I always joked about how much younger she was than me, but yet here she was. Well, here she was mentoring me and showing me the ropes. But she did, and she did that with all the council people that came along. And you have given me big shoes to fill. And though I will never be able to have the memory for numbers that you've had, I don't understand it, how you can remember something like the exact amount of money received in shore flow rights like 5 years ago. But you can. So I'll never be able to pull those numbers out of my hat like that. But when I'm sworn in next week, 2 weeks, I will do my best to honor the lessons that you've taught me. And now for the other Sarah that I know, the personal side, where she's my close friend and like a little sister. I was a bridesmaid at your wedding. My kids call you Aunt. We instantly became fast friends when we met. And so having you at my side during these last years as a friend on top of being a colleague, it was just like the cherry on top. I'm beyond happy for you and Jeremy as you move into this next chapter. You have such a big heart that we will all miss here. But I can't wait to see you open that big heart for your new family. And I can't wait to babysit. So I know there will be great things ahead. So love you and good luck.
Thank you, Mayor-elect. Love you too. Thank you. I have more to say in my speech about you, of course.
I know there are.
Yeah.
I know there are a few other things that everybody wants to say.
Okay. And then I have something, of course, for before we end. All right.
Well, I mean, you know how I feel about you, and we spent so much time together, and I could do a triple Jeremy right now. You know, we go on and on and on, and I couldn't honor you enough, but so I wrote some stuff down, just a few lines to keep this short and sweet. I look forward to another occasion, maybe at your, little celebration get together when I can more better express what it's been like to be in your company and have your friendship and all your support. But let me just say that you are an amazing person. Your political career has been exemplary. This community has been so incredibly blessed to have you devoting your time and talents to everyone's benefit. You have set the bar extremely high for Mayor-elect Womenstock, but I know that we can still count on you to continue to be a valued resource for guidance and advice. Your presence on this dais will be greatly missed. Your dream of becoming a mother is about to come true, and I know that you will do an awesome job in that role as you have as a teacher, counselor, and mayor. You are the reason I am sitting in this seat. You led me through the tough times and the good. You were always my biggest supporter, and I'll always be grateful to you for your trust in me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you have done, and I wish you and Jeremy a healthy and happy 2023 as you embark on your newest adventure together. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Graham. Thanks, Ross.
I usually speak after Russ, so.
Okay.
I did write some things down mainly just so I wouldn't forget to say anything that I wanted to, but on my way home tonight, I actually spoke to Russ for my whole commute. And we talked about the importance of speaking from the heart as well. So I'll get to that in a second, but listening to Jeremy speak before, I just remember when he kind of came on the scene and it was like crazy COVID times. And I feel like I lived on Zoom with you that year.
You did.
Like
Mayor Q&As.
Yeah, I used to interview you for like an hour, and this poor guy's sitting there wondering like, what did I get myself into? But I'm another person who's sitting in this seat because of you and your support. and also Russ. And I thank you both for that. A lot of people don't always separate Sarah the person from Sarah the mayor, and I really did want to do that tonight because aside from your 12 years of outstanding service here as council member and mayor, as a person, and again, being older than you, it's interesting to say that you're learning from someone, but you've taught me a lot. You taught me a lot about how local government works. You taught me a lot about listening, teamwork, and I thank you for that. I thank you for showing everyone by your own example what it means to be a truly dedicated person to elected office. We would joke. I think I dubbed you the most accessible mayor in Union County at one point, and it really is true. I think everyone in New Jersey has your cell phone number, and no one hesitates to call it. But you also showed us good listening skills, what I would term an excessive attention to detail, and quite a lot of time goes into these positions. And just from your example alone, you've improved all of us in our service. And I also did want to reference that we have not always seen eye to eye, as you mentioned with a couple of the other people sitting in the audience. We were actually once on opposing ballot lines. And despite that, or perhaps because of it, you spent many hours during my time here working with me, and you've been unfailingly respectful and collaborative. So there is a lesson in this for all of us here. It's one I'm going to try to take to heart going into my next year. And I do want to thank you for your support over the last 2 years of my various initiatives, some of them crazy, like the live stream.
That's a great one. Maybe best one.
You let me form a whole new committee just to work on stuff like this, the small business board. So thank you for all that. And just, there's a lot of hats that a mayor wears. And one of them is you have to manage this group of sometimes disparate opinions. But one thing you do very well, and it's directly impacted all of our abilities to get better doing this job on the council, is you go out of your way to give everyone up here not only your own attention and your experience, but you give us all a chance to work on different committees and in different positions. And that's something that could be very easily overlooked by someone who hasn't served up here. It really does. You're not just doing your own service, you're making all of us better at the same time, and that helps make the town better. So it has been an absolute honor to serve up here with you for 2 years as our mayor. And as Councilman Carney, I'm sorry to see you leave, but as Vinny and as your friend, I'm thrilled for you and Jeremy and your new family. And I wish you love and happiness going forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vinny. Yeah, I appreciate that. And my cell phone number will not be changing on January 1st, so you can still text me, call me. It's all good.
Sarah, so I just want to talk a little bit about some of the things that I've been thinking about when I think about you as a leader. And one of the things that I really greatly respect is I just find that you are inspiring to so many people in subtle ways that you don't even realize, in the sense that you are someone that molds collaboration around an idea. People want to come to this town and do things and volunteer because of your inspiration. And the fact that you were such a young person, I think that obviously helps people to be excited to see that someone that young is willing to be that selfless for as long as you've been. And I just, as someone who, wasn't really sure that I really wanted to get involved in politics, that you wrapped your arm and brought me along the ride. And on the campaign trail, when, I was just so impressed by your commitment to very, very long conversations.
You love
that
those.
Sometimes I was wondering when they were ever going to end. And but they did end eventually.
They did.
They did. So I just, you just are such an incredible leader in this town. And I just feel very blessed to have had you to sit on the council with you and also to be a resident in this town and see all the work that you've done for our town. And also I'm so blessed to have you as a friend. We've laughed a lot together. We've had some really great times. And, I look forward to seeing you in your role as a mom. You're going to make an incredible parent. And congrats to you and Jeremy and all your future endeavors.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I guess you never saw yourself running for a third term, did you? But I'm really glad for the town of Garwood that you did. And so it worked out. I guess my charm worked. So and Jen too. She's got some charm too. So thanks, Mark. Appreciate that.
So Sarah, I just want to jump in. I've been up here with you for a year. And to say we haven't always seen eye to eye is probably an understatement. But once I got up here, we were in committees. I remember saying to myself, wow, we actually agree more than I thought we would.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good experience, although we had some rocky roads. I wish we did have more time together, but obviously I understand. I'm happy for you. And we will always have basketball.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Thanks, Kim. I appreciate that. Nope. If you're feeling pressure, I don't
No,
know.
I don't feel pressure. It's speaking from the heart. So I have worked with you, not in a council setting, but I have worked with you and other organizations in town. And you have always been very respectful. If we've had a difference of opinions, I don't think we really had many different opinions, but you've always been respectful. And I personally find you inspiring as a woman who took on this, role, a young age and leading. But really, there's no greater joy than being a mother. So I'm so very happy for you.
Thank you, Rachel. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's a title I'm looking forward to. There's a state senator who I'm friendly with, Joe Cryan, and I remember him giving a speech one day, and he's been a sheriff, been an assemblyman, been a state senator, and he got up and he said the best title he ever had was grandpa. And I thought, wow, that's really good stuff right there. But I knew he meant it, and I think a lot of people in elected office feel that same way, that there's really nothing like family. So thank you. And Kim and Rachel, you both have brought the Girl Scouts in here, and I've gone to a few of their events, and being somebody who's a former Girl Scout here in this town, Adele was talking about that before too. I hope that I was able to be that example. Just, they don't have to remember what I said. I don't expect that, but just the fact that they got to see someone on the younger side who is a female in a leadership role. I see it with my students. Their eyes light up when I tell them that I'm the mayor. They really can't believe it at first. And then they really can't believe the $1 a year thing, I'll tell you. But they love that part. But one student even at one point had Garwood's homepage as one of his bookmarks. He would just check in on Garwood, see what we were up to. So when you say inspiring, especially for the kids out there, I hope just seeing me in this role did do that, because I know I've had many role models in life, and in this room as well, role models I've looked up to and learned from. So it's all good. So thanks. Thank you for all that, members of the council. I appreciate it. All right. So the time has come for my speech, and the night's getting later and later, I guess. But I have to give a big kudos to Brian and Jada and Jada's family for staying here throughout the whole meeting for this love fest at the end we end up having. I told you it's like a Lifetime movie. I did give you that out earlier, just for the record, but I do appreciate you staying. I think that says something really wonderful about these two individuals, and I look forward to seeing your careers here in Garwood. So if we can give them one more round of applause, I think they deserve it. All right. And then I have to say this too. I'm sure I have the box of tissues here for a reason, because I'm sure I'm going to tear up, and I'll do my best to get through the speech. I tried to put all the mushy stuff kind of at the end, but I'd like to just make the excuse that the tears are because of pregnancy hormones, but I did cry when giving my wedding vows. I cried at one of the debates at the end. So it's probably just me, a little emotional sometimes, but I don't think there's anything wrong sometimes with showing emotion, as much as I can't stand it, to be honest. because I feel like it shows some kind of weakness, but it is what it is. I think you all know me well enough by now. So the time has come, my last speech. And I know some may think I've been counting down to my last day in office for some time now, but most of you know me better than that and know that that's actually not the case. And I've tried to be the least lame duck mayor possible. So I hope you have witnessed that to be true. I would always check in with Mr. Harris and ask him, am I still doing good or do I seem like a lame duck? And he's like, no, don't worry. You're still not a lame duck. You're doing good. So thank you, Kyle, for that reassurance. And the reason for that is because, as you all know, I've truly enjoyed this job as mayor the past 4 years and as a councilwoman the 7 years before that. It's not always easy, as we've all witnessed and experienced, but most things worth doing are not. So it's okay. The honor of being elected to office has never been lost on me. I believe it's a special position to be in. I enjoy the troubleshooting and the decision making. I enjoy working with other people, whether fellow elected officials, department heads, or professionals. I enjoyed seeing decisions made in this very room become reality throughout our town. And like government works, it often does not take place quickly, but it was very rewarding to see things like both of our parks here in town getting upgrades, the redevelopment that we've brought in, revitalizing our main streets, streets being paved, new curbs being installed. Never thought I would care so much about curbs, but I do. Everyone knows that. New equipment for our departments being put to good use to make Garwood, most of all, a safer place and a place with a higher quality of life and so much more. I especially enjoyed being in a position to honor other people in Garwood who have made a positive difference in our community. I will always hold all the times I was able to express gratitude to those individuals and to those groups of people here in town who do so much for Garwood. That's very special to me. I want to take the time to thank all the volunteers that I have had the honor to appoint to our various boards and committees, as well as the volunteers of the Garwood Fire Department and Garwood First Aid Squad. I've always said that volunteers are the heart of our small town with a big heart, and it's really true. I will always cherish the many memories I've made here in Garwood, from the tree lightings to the Garwood Rocks, to visiting residents and businesses and everything in between. It has also been such a pleasure and honor working with other elected officials here in Garwood. And I remember feeling a bit awestruck when I first met Mayor McCarthy back in 2010. I was like, wow, I've met a mayor. His last address as mayor left a mark on me. And I recently reread it in old minute books. I do teach social studies, so you know there's a historian in me. So I love actually reading the old minute books. I encourage people to do that. And I can't say my speech tonight will be as concise as his was, but I hope it will be as moving, because I was moved when I was sitting in those seats listening to him speak. And I appreciated the advice he gave me when I was first sworn into office in May of 2011. He reminded me to breathe. It's simple, but it is needed when your nerves get going. So I appreciated that. After all, no one wants to botch the oath of office. Right, Councilwoman Hers? You did a good job. I watched. But yep, we've all been there. I'm proud to have served alongside dozens of council members and to serve under two mayors, Mayor Quattrocchi and Mayor Lombardo. Mayor Lombardo, it means a lot to me that you're here tonight. Appreciate that. I learned from both of you. I appreciated the committee assignments each mayor gave me, and I especially appreciated the leadership opportunities that Mayor Lombardo gave me. Each of us have had our different styles, and I think that's a good thing. I know Jen Blumenstock will have her own style too. From working with her these past 6 years, I know that she will give her full devotion to Garwood and work tirelessly to improve our town and to leave it better than when she found it, as I hope I have done. So Jen, I'm very grateful that Garwood politics brought us together. You know that you are like a sister to me and always have my back. And she's always there for a phone call when I'm not sure what to wear, which even happened before this meeting. I'm like, do I have to wear a dress, this, that? She's like, you're pregnant. Don't worry about it. You wear whatever you want. So anyway, this is it. I figured wear red for Christmas. So anyway, thanks for always entertaining my nonsense calls like that as well. So you've always had my back. I have yours. I wish you nothing but success as you step into the role of mayor. I will always be here rooting for you and rooting for Garwood. And I was very proud to be able to tell you, I guess, whenever that was now, a little bit over maybe a month ago, when I said to you that I'm proud that you'll take on the title Aunt Mayor Jen, because I've been proud to be Aunt Mayor Sarah to her two kids, Cece and Lena. So I think, it's special. So thank you. And I remember first getting involved with local politics just a few months after coming back home from college in 2010, when I made a phone call, believe it or not, to the only member of the Democratic Party I knew, which was Kathy Velagio, because I did know I was a Democrat and I did know I had to call someone in that party. And I knew Kathy for a long time, growing up with her daughter, Lisa, and playing softball and all of that. So I remember that call like it was yesterday, and you do too, Kathy. I came to 1 or 2 council meetings towards the end of 2010, and I was just really struck by what happens here in this room and how just 7 people are elected to make decisions that affect our whole town, and often with lasting impact. This is just like, I feel such a heavy weight of what is done in this room that maybe sometimes seems simple or whatever it may be, because we are just regular people, but what we do carries real weight. And I think it's something, we all should always remember. I feel like I was able to be involved here in Garwood at the right time, especially as mayor, and I hope you would agree with me. Some have heard me say this before, but I felt always that I had one foot in the past. Let me just get some water. One foot in the past and one foot in the present. And I believe Garwood needed that at the time when we're in a major transition. A lot has changed in our town, from what you can see around town, as well as how government works here in the borough from 2011, when I first joined, to where we are now in the end of 2022. So my one foot in the past was the deep roots I am proud to have in this town and the connections I have with some of our residents who have known me since I was born. So yes, I do have constituents in this town who have changed my diapers. I do like to tell that joke sometimes too. Another foot, which I think was mostly due to my age, had me with one foot in the future, hoping for Garwood to become an even better place to live at whichever stage or stages you found yourself here. And I hope I represented you well, whether a longtime resident or a newcomer or anywhere in between. I apologize for not being able to name all the individuals who have made an impact on me and the opportunity to share all the key memories I've made, but maybe it's a good thing too, so that I don't keep you here all night. But I do want to thank our borough administrator, Kyle Harris, and our past borough administrator and clerk, Ms. Ariema. I feel, again, with that right time, right place to help with that transition of a longtime administrator clerk to a newcomer who hit the ground running. And Kyle, you never cease to amaze me. Very impressive. And we're lucky to have you here in Garwood. Police Chief Wright, thank you for your kind words earlier. Meant a lot to me. It's been an honor working with you. Our DPW Superintendent Dixon, who's probably watching this meeting now or will. He does pay attention to all the meetings, right, Council President? Yes, he does. All the past fire chiefs, especially Chief Tweedle, who was here earlier tonight. I think he had to go, but it meant a lot to me that Chief Tweedle was here, as Chief Tweedle, our current Chief Scalzadona, former Councilman McCormick, and myself. We had many powwows about that ladder truck, and it's good to see that reality here in Garwood. So it means a lot to me to have you both here. Our planning board secretary, Adele Lewis, my past Girl Scout mom, being here really means a lot to me. Thank you. All my past borough attorneys, Mr. Jardim, who's still here, very nice, and our current borough attorney, Mr. Abramson. I love our phone calls. I'm glad we're not billed for all the minutes that I take up. You all should be grateful as well that you're not billed, because we just laugh and laugh and laugh. We get along great, I'd say. So I hope you don't lose my number come January 1st. And also, even though he's not here, our borough engineer, Mike Disco, he does a fabulous job. Here in Garwood, we have a lot of part-time employees, and it's not easy with that, but he really does a fabulous job. And when we had our longtime engineer, Don Guariello, who I had the privilege of working with too, leave, we almost thought, how will we really ever fill Don's shoes? And Tina would say, don't worry, the right person will come around. And it didn't happen right away, but we did find Mike Disco, and he's been an asset here in Garwood. I'd like to thank all of the elected officials that I have served with over the past 12 years, and the Garwood Democratic Party and its chair, Ann Tarantino, who holds a special place in my heart for sticking up for me since my very start, before she even knew me. She knows that story. We've been here long enough. You don't need to hear it, but basically she stuck up for me. She didn't know me. And she basically said, oh, to all those that say Sarah's too young to be on the council, why don't you just give her a chance? If you don't like the job she does, you don't have to vote for her in the next election. but the people of Garwood, thank you for voting for me 5 different times. It means a lot. Let's see. I want to thank all of my friends, some of which are watching this meeting. As one of my maids of honor said at my wedding, to be my friend meant campaigning with me if you wanted to spend time with me. But my friends went through the trenches with that, and I appreciate it. I know I wasn't necessarily always the easiest of friends because of my commitments, but they were always there for me. Also, all of my coworkers who are also my friends and who always gave me an ear when I came into work fired up about something going on in town. I know I seem very even keeled, and I am, and I'm very proud to be pretty low stress, but I do get fired up, but I kind of enjoy it because it just means actions happening and all of that. But I always appreciate them and others for lending an ear to me during those times. Next, I want to thank my family for always being there for me. My mom, my dad, my brother Brandon, who are tuned in from Florida, as we are well aware. My uncle John, who couldn't be here tonight, but he's always been in my corner. The family I married into, who is watching from their homes in Florida as well. I appreciate the instant love they showed me since the very first FaceTime we had back in 2020. I couldn't have asked to marry into a better family than the Carpers. And of course, my husband, Jeremy, who is beyond supportive, patient, and understanding. Jeremy, you'll always be my first man. So, just a little bit more. As I mentioned earlier tonight, I had what I like to call an exit interview with the Garwood Historical Committee. And I am proud that I was able to help revive that committee a little less than 10 years ago as its first ever council liaison. I asked Mayor Lombardo if he would put me there, and he did. Thank you, Mayor. And they've been going strong ever since. Might be a small group, but mighty. Your wife does a phenomenal job, Carol, and tell her I said thank you for all of that she does with historical. It's really important. So as I said earlier, the interviewer was none other than Garwood's own Bruce Patterson, and he asked good questions, and I really enjoyed our hour-long talk. So one question he asked me was how I was able to get involved at such a young age. He pointed out most 22-year-olds were not running for their town councils. That's true. So my answer to him was twofold, and I wanted to share it with you tonight. So one was my love of this town and what it meant to me as instilled in me by my family, especially my grandfather, who was very proud to be from Garwood and also to have a business here like his father before him. Recently, I was given an article about him making wine in the basement of his family's building on North Avenue, still in the family to this day, that had been owned by his grandparents dating back to 1903. We all know that's a special year. That's the year of Garwood's founding. He used to show me a house in Westfield. Here you go, Mr. Jardim. I don't remember exactly where it is, but it was off Gallows Hill Road. He would say, oh, sorry, see this house over here? I almost bought that house. And then we could have all been a bunch of people from Westfield forever instead of Garwood. And he would chuckle about that and how he almost bought it. And anyway, he was very happy that he bought his house on Hickory Avenue and continued the family tradition of staying here in Garwood. But the other part of my answer was that I had the gumption. How often you even use that word gumption? I had to double check I was using it right. That I had the gumption to think. And at the time, I definitely just had the gumption. I didn't really think too deeply. But now I look back and I go, wow, okay, that was gutsy. To think that I, at 22 years old, 1 year out of college, could actually be helpful in running a town and to be able to represent all the people in that town at such a young age. But the reason for that is because I was raised by a strong, independent woman you know, we're getting to the end, right? That's just a cue. So, who raised me as a single mom. I probably have her crying on the other end too, right? Makes me feel better. So anyway, from the ages of 5 to 10, obviously very impactful years. And so it meant a lot always that time in our lives was just the two of us. And, you know, like you do for your kids. She made me believe in myself and be a strong woman just like her. People have asked me a lot. They're like, how do you have the thick skin for this? The politics is rough. And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm lucky. But that's really the reason. It's from her. And I can only hope and try my best to do the same. All right. That's the teary part. Last paragraph's not so hard. Okay. Years ago, I thought I could do this for decades. And I really did. I thought I could do this for a very, very long time. And I would laugh. Mr. Patterson would sit in his seat over there and say, you guys are making decisions that are going to affect the town for decades to come. And none of you are going to be up there, but maybe Sarah. And I always got a smile on my face when he would say that. So I really thought I could do this for decades. And maybe a small part of me believes that is still true to this day. But some things I've learned are not about how long you can keep doing what you've been doing, but instead they're about being in the right place at the right time. So I got involved 12 years ago for the same reason I'm leaving. Should have changed that line. Anyway, so for the same reason I got here is the same reason I'm leaving. It's for love of family. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Give your families an extra hug. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so with that, payment of claims, time to pay the bills. Ms. Cameron, could you please read that resolution?
Yes, Mayor. Be it resolved that the following claims as approved be in the same or hereby ordered paid when properly signed and verified, and the payment of payrolls as listed is hereby confirmed and ratified.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Could I have a motion to adopt the payment of claims resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Ms. Cameron.
Councilman Graham.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hers.
Aye.
Councilman Carney.
Aye.
Councilman Lazaro.
Aye.
Councilwoman Salmon.
Aye.
Council President Blumenstock.
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Okay, the reorganization meeting of the mayor and council will be held on Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023 in council chambers at 6 p.m. Information for meetings is posted on the borough website, garwood.org. Could I have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you, everyone.